The gleaming halls of the Star Seeker buzzed with excitement as Gray walked toward the mission room. His footsteps echoed against the metal floor, each step measured and careful despite his tall, lightweight frame. Other hunters moved out of his way, their four eyes showing respect for the most successful hunter in the guild's history. The ship's artificial gravity felt too light today, matching his uneasy feelings about this new assignment. The mission room's door slid open with a soft hiss, revealing the guild master's hologram floating above the central table. The blue light filled the room with shadows that danced on the walls. "Hunter Gray," the guild master's voice boomed, "your next target comes from a place called Earth." The hologram changed to show a spinning blue and green planet. "This is a Class 12 Deathworld." Gray's inner eyelids blinked rapidly. In 30 years of hunting, he had never been assigned anything above Class 8. "Master, there must be some mistake. Class 12 worlds are marked as do not approach." "This is no mistake." The guild master's tentacles moved in patterns showing pride. "Humans have learned to travel between stars. They can no longer be ignored. We need to understand their capabilities, and you are our best hunter." The hologram changed again, showing readings that made Gray's skin change color in shock. The gravity was nearly twice what most species considered normal. The atmosphere was thick with corrosive oxygen, and the temperature swings could kill most beings in minutes. "And creatures live there?" Gray asked, his voice barely hiding his disbelief. "Not just live," the guild master replied. "They build cities. They make art. They wage wars. The humans are the most dangerous prey we have ever encountered. That's why we need you, Gray. Your perfect record speaks for itself." The payment offer appeared in the air, enough credits to buy a small moon. Gray stared at the number but felt no excitement. Instead, his hunter's instinct, the one that had kept him alive all these years, was screaming danger. "The target is a maintenance worker in one of their space stations," the guild master continued. "We believe this will be the easiest way to capture a specimen. Their orbital facilities have lower security than their planet-side installations." Gray watched the image of the human target. It looked so simple, so soft compared to other prey he had hunted. No natural armor, no claws, no venom sacs, but something about those eyes made his spines tingle with warning. "You have 3 cycles to prepare," the guild master said. "The human must be taken alive. We need to study how they survive in such conditions. Your ship and equipment will be upgraded to handle Earth-level gravity." As Gray left the mission room, his assistant Red appeared beside him, a small hovering orb glowing with soft red light. "I've started downloading all available data on humans," Red said. "Would you like me to begin planning capture scenarios?" "No," Gray said quietly. "I want to know everything about them first, not just their physical capabilities, their history, their stories, their art, everything." "That's unusual," Red noted. "You'd normally focus on biological weaknesses first." Gray stopped at a viewing window, looking out at the stars. "Something feels different about this hunt. Red, these humans, they didn't just survive on a death world. They mastered it. Everything about their planet should have killed them, but instead, they turned those challenges into advantages." He touched the window with one long finger. "In all my years of hunting, I've never encountered a species that thrived on a Class 12 world. It shouldn't be possible, yet they did it. Not only that, they built civilizations, created music, wrote poetry, all while living in conditions that would kill most species in minutes." Red pulsed softly. "The guild master seems confident in your abilities." "The guild master doesn't hunt anymore," Gray said. "He's forgotten the first rule. Never underestimate your prey." He turned away from the window, his decision already forming in his mind. "Show me everything we have on human art first. I want to understand how they think before I even consider how to hunt them." As Gray walked to his quarters, other hunters nodded respectfully. unaware that their most celebrated member was about to make a decision that would shake the very foundations of their society. Gray sat in his private study aboard the Star Seeker, surrounded by floating screens showing human history. His quarters were dark except for the glow of the displays, each one telling a different story about Earth. Red hovered nearby, projecting more information as Gray requested it. "Show me their wars again," Gray said softly. The screens shifted, displaying battles throughout human history. They fought with sticks and stones, then built machines that could destroy entire cities, all in less than 10,000 years. Most species take 100,000 years to make such advances, Red noted. The Guild believes this rapid development makes humans dangerous. Gray watched as the images changed to show humans rebuilding after their wars. "Look at this, Red. They don't just destroy. They create. They heal." He gestured at another screen showing hospitals, schools, and reconstruction efforts. Their capacity for both is remarkable. A sudden alert interrupted their research. Another hunter, Shell, was requesting entry. Gray quickly switched the displays to standard hunt preparation data before allowing him in. "Still studying the prey?" Shell asked, his scales gleaming under the dim light. "The whole ship is talking about your delayed preparation. Some say you're afraid." Gray kept his voice calm. "A good hunter respects their prey. These humans deserve study." Shell moved closer to one of the screens. "They look soft. No natural defenses. This should be an easy hunt for someone of your skill." He pointed at an image of a human lifting weights. "Even their strongest ones are weak compared to species from lower-class worlds." "You're looking at the wrong things," Gray said. He brought up new data, showing human survival stories. Here, a human female lifted a ground transport vehicle to save her offspring. Another survived in frozen conditions for hours when most species would die in minutes. They routinely push beyond their physical limitations. "Interesting stories," Shell said with obvious doubt. "But the Guild wants results, not stories." The younger hunters are getting impatient. Stone has already requested to take over if you delay much longer. After Shell left, Red dimmed the lights further, matching Gray's darkening mood. "He's right about one thing. The Guild is getting impatient. We've spent a full cycle just studying human culture." Gray stood and walked to his viewport, watching the stars streak by. "Red, access the Guild's sealed records. Use my override codes." "That's unusual," Red said, but complied. "What are we looking for?" "Previous hunts, Class 10 and above." The data flickered across the screens. Red's glow pulsed with surprise. "This can't be right. There are gaps in the records. Large ones." "Not gaps," Gray said grimly. "Deletions. The Guild is hiding something." He pointed to a pattern in the data. "Look here. Every time the Guild attempted to hunt on high-class worlds, the records just stop. No success reports. No failure reports. Nothing." Red processed this information. "Are you suggesting the hunts failed?" "Worse. I think they failed so badly the Guild erased the evidence." Gray pulled up more human historical records. "These humans, they don't just survive. They adapt. They learn. Each challenge makes them stronger." A new alert flashed, showing the Guild Master requesting an update on hunt preparations. Gray ignored it, instead focusing on a series of human entertainment videos called action movies. "They imagine being hunted," he said, watching the scenes play out. "They create stories about fighting superior enemies and winning. Their minds are always preparing for threats they haven't even met yet." Red's color shifted to a deeper crimson. "Gray, your reputation." "My reputation isn't worth the lives this hunt could cost," Gray interrupted. "The Guild thinks they're sending me to hunt prey. But these humans," he gestured at the screens showing human achievements, their space exploration, their constant push against their limitations. "They're not prey. They never were." He stood, his decision finally clear in his mind. Red, prepare a formal rejection of the hunt assignment, and download everything we've learned about humans to my private server. The guild won't be happy, but they need to understand. Some creatures shouldn't be hunted. Not because they're weak, but because they're strong in ways we never considered possible. The mission room fell silent as Gray finished speaking. His formal rejection of the hunt hung in the air like a physical thing, heavy and unprecedented. The guild master's hologram flickered, the blue light pulsing with barely contained anger. "You cannot reject this hunt," the guild master said, his voice dangerously quiet. "No hunter has ever refused an assignment, especially not our most decorated one." Gray stood firm, his 4 eyes steady. "Then I will be the first. These humans are not suitable prey. Hunting them would be a mistake." Whispers spread through the room. Other hunters watched from the shadows, their expressions mixing shock and disgust. Shell stood near the door, already sending messages to others about this historic moment of shame. "Explain yourself," the guild master demanded. "What did you find in your research that makes you reject such an honor?" "The humans aren't just survivors," Gray said. He motioned to Red, who projected images of human achievements. "They're builders, creators, warriors. They don't just live on their death world. They reshape it. They aren't prey. They're a species that could teach us much if we approach them as equals." The guild master's tentacles writhed in frustration. "Your duty is to hunt, not to admire. You've spent too much time studying their culture. It has clouded your judgment." "My judgment is clearer than ever," Gray replied. "Check the sealed records. How many hunters have we lost trying to capture creatures from high-class worlds? How many failed hunts have been erased from our history?" The room grew even quieter. The guild master's hologram expanded, looming over Gray. "You accessed sealed records without permission. I accessed them with my senior hunter clearance. And what I found is no longer your concern," the guild master interrupted. "Hunter Stone will take over this assignment. And you," the hologram's eyes narrowed, "you are suspended from all guild activities pending a full review of your status." Stone stepped forward from the shadows, his younger, eager face bright with ambition. "I won't disappoint you like Gray has, Master. I'll bring you a human specimen within 1 cycle." Gray turned to Stone. "You're not ready. None of us are. These humans are nothing but animals on a harsh world." Stone cut in. "Your age has made you soft, Gray. Watch how a real hunter handles this assignment." The other hunters began to leave, some avoiding Gray's eyes, others glaring at him with open scorn. Shell lingered at the door, shaking his head. "You were a legend, Gray. Now look at you, afraid of soft-skinned prey." After everyone left, Red hovered close to Gray. "What now?" "Your reputation will survive," Gray said firmly. "But Stone might not, and if he attacks his target on that space station, many others might die too." He walked to the viewport, watching the distant stars. "Red, prepare my personal ship. Delete all travel logs. If the guild won't listen to reason, we'll have to take more direct action." "You're going to Earth." Red's light pulsed with alarm. "That's against guild law. They'll mark you as a traitor." "Better a traitor than someone who stood by and watched a disaster unfold." Gray began walking to his quarters, his mind racing with plans. Stone doesn't understand what he's dealing with. His arrogance will get him killed, and might start a war with a species we're not ready to fight. As they reached his quarters, Red projected one last image, the human maintenance worker who was Stone's target. "The guild will trace any warning you try to send. Then we won't send a warning." Gray began gathering essential supplies. "We'll deliver it in person. How long until Stone's ship is ready?" 3 days, standard time. Then we leave in 1. Plot a course to the human space station. Gray looked at his reflection in the viewport, seeing not a disgraced hunter but someone finally doing what was right. It's time to meet these Deathworlders face to face, not as a hunter, but as someone trying to prevent a massacre. Gray's small ship docked at the human space station under the cover of normal tourist traffic. The station hung in space like a giant wheel, spinning to create artificial gravity. His body ached from the stronger gravity as he stepped through the airlock. Disguised as a member of the peaceful drift species that regularly traded with humans. Heart rate elevated. Red whispered from a small device on Gray's wrist. "The gravity here matches Earth standard. Are you sure you can handle it?" Gray took careful steps, his modified bones creaking. "I'll manage. Have you located the target?" Tom works in Maintenance Section D. His shift starts in 20 minutes. The station buzzed with activity. Gray watched humans of all sizes and colors walk past him. They moved with an ease that amazed him, their bodies perfectly adapted to this crushing gravity. Some carried heavy tools like they weighed nothing. A small human child ran past, and Gray calculated that even this youngster could probably overpower him in the station's heavy gravity. He found Maintenance Section D and waited, pretending to study a station map. The door opened, and Tom walked in, carrying a toolbox that would have taken 3 of Gray's people to lift. The human wore a simple uniform with a name tag and whistled while he worked on an open panel. "Excuse me," Gray said in practiced human English. "I seem to be lost." Tom turned, and Gray fought his instinct to step back. Even through his disguise's scent filters, he could smell the oxygen-rich blood pumping through the human's powerful body. This close, he could see the muscles that evolved under Earth's gravity, the quick eyes adapted to spot predators, the teeth made to eat both plants and meat. New to the station, Tom smiled, showing those teeth, but his expression was friendly. "The tourist sections can be confusing. Where are you trying to go?" "The observation deck," Gray said, studying how Tom moved. Every motion was smooth, efficient. A lifetime of living in high gravity had made him naturally strong in ways Gray's people could barely imagine. "Oh, that's easy." Tom put down his tools and grabbed a tablet. "Here, let me draw you a map. The signs can be tricky if you're not used to human writing." As Tom drew, he asked Gray questions about his home world, showing genuine interest. Gray answered carefully, using his prepared cover story, but found himself drawn into real conversation. The human's curiosity seemed natural, not suspicious. "Must be strange, being so far from home," Tom said as he finished the map. "I remember my first space assignment. Couldn't sleep for days. The silence gets to you." "You find space silent?" Gray asked. "Most species find it peaceful compared to planetary life." Tom laughed. "Maybe compared to Earth. Everything's trying to kill you there. Weather, animals, even the air if you go too high up. Makes you tough though. Ready for anything." A warning flashed on Gray's wrist device. Red had detected another guild ship entering the system. Stone was ahead of schedule. "Something wrong?" Tom asked, noticing Gray's sudden tension. "Your color changed a bit there. Some of your people do that when they're stressed, right?" Gray looked at the human with new urgency. Here was a creature who could notice subtle color changes while casually mentioning how his homeworld tried to kill him. Someone who treated deadly conditions as normal and still showed kindness to confused tourists. "Actually," Gray said, making a rapid decision, "I need to tell you something important. It's about why I'm really here." "Let me guess." Tom's expression turned serious, but he didn't move away. "You're not really lost, are you?" "No. I'm here because—" Gray glanced around, then lowered his voice. "Because someone is coming to hunt you, and I couldn't let that happen without warning you first." Instead of panic or disbelief, Tom's face showed only calm interest. He picked up his heavy toolbox with one hand. "Maybe we should continue this conversation somewhere more private. I know a few quiet spots in the maintenance tunnels, unless you're not comfortable going somewhere less public with a dangerous Earth human." At this point, Gray said, realizing the irony, "You might be the safest person on this station for me to trust." Deep in the maintenance tunnels, Tom sat on a large pipe while Gray explained everything. The humans' calm reaction to learning about the hunting guild made Gray even more certain he had made the right choice in warning him. "So let me get this straight," Tom said, tapping his wrench against his leg. "You're actually the galaxy's best hunter, but you refuse to hunt me because you think humans are too dangerous. And now another hunter is coming to try instead." "Correct." Gray's translator caught the slight amusement in Tom's voice. "You don't seem worried." Tom stood up, his height more impressive in the narrow tunnel. "Oh, I'm worried. Just not about myself." He walked to a maintenance panel and began working on it while talking. "You said this stone person is young and aggressive. He doesn't understand what he's dealing with. None of them do." Gray watched as Tom's strong hands easily managed heavy tools. "The guild thinks humans are just clever animals who got lucky with technology. They don't understand what it means to evolve on a death world." Red's warning light pulsed on Gray's wrist. "Multiple guild ships have entered the station's security zone. They're using tourist credentials, like we did." Tom didn't stop working. "How many hunters usually come on these trips?" "Standard hunting party is 6. But for a Class 12 target," Gray's inner eyelids blinked rapidly, "Stone might have brought more. And they'll all be affected by our gravity. Yes, even with enhancement drugs and support suits, they'll be slower than normal. Weaker." Gray moved closer to Tom. "We need to get you to safety. Perhaps if we..." The lights in the tunnel suddenly went out. Emergency lights kicked in, casting red shadows everywhere. Tom smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile anymore. "You know what humans did when predators hunted us on Earth." He reached into his toolbox. "We learned to hunt them back." "Station security alert," Red announced. "Multiple systems failing across all sectors. Life support stable, but all non-essential systems experiencing disruption." Gray looked at Tom with new understanding. "You did this while we were talking. Amazing what you can do with maintenance access and a wrench." Tom pulled out a tablet, showing a station map with multiple blinking points. "Your friends just triggered 6 different security sensors. Standard procedure is to lock down those sections. They're trapped." "Stone won't give up easily," Gray warned. "He'll find a way." A new alarm blared. "Warning," a station AI announced. "Unauthorized weapons detected in Tourist Section C. Security teams responding." Right on time. Tom grabbed his toolbox. "Your guild friends just revealed themselves. Real tourists don't carry weapons. Now the station security has a legal reason to arrest them." Gray's scales rippled with admiration. "You set them up, all while pretending to just fix machinery. Humans are good at multitasking." Tom checked his tablet again. "But Stone sounds clever. He'll expect a trap and find a way around it. We should." The tunnel shook. Emergency lights flickered. Red's glow turned urgent. "Explosion detected in Section C. 5 guild hunters in custody, but Stone and 3 others escaped. They're heading this way." "Of course they are." Tom started walking, gesturing for Gray to follow. "Good thing we're not staying here. I've got workshops set up all over these tunnels. Been maintaining them for years. Never know when you'll need a backup plan." "You prepared for something like this?" Tom's laugh echoed in the tunnel. "Humans always prepare. We had to, back on Earth. Never know when a predator might show up." He patted the tunnel wall. "This whole station is like one big cave system. You know what humans did in caves when bigger predators came after us." Gray remembered his research. "You turned the environment against them." "Exactly." Tom reached a junction and opened a hidden panel. "Stone wants to hunt a Deathworlder. Let's show him why that's a bad idea. I've got some friends in maintenance who've been wanting to test our emergency protocols anyway." As they moved deeper into the station's heart, Gray realized that the guild had made an even bigger mistake than he'd thought. They hadn't just chosen to hunt a dangerous species. They'd chosen to hunt a species that had spent its entire history learning how to hunt back. Stone's hunting party moved through the dark maintenance tunnels, their breathing heavy in the station's crushing gravity. Even with their enhancement suits, Every step was an effort. They followed the trail of heat signatures leading to their prey, unaware they were being watched through the station's security systems. In a makeshift control room deep within the station, Tom and Gray monitored their progress. Screens showed the hunters from multiple angles, while other displays tracked the station's systems. 3 more maintenance workers had joined them, all looking surprisingly calm about the situation. "They're heading exactly where we want them," one of Tom's friends said, adjusting some controls. "Just like you predicted." Stone's voice came through the monitors, harsh and frustrated. "The humans playing with us, leading us deeper into these tunnels. It's a trap." "Of course it's a trap," another hunter replied. "But we have them cornered. There's nowhere left for them to run." Gray watched Tom smile at those words. The human hadn't stopped working even while being hunted, his hands moving steadily over control panels and tools. "They really don't understand, do they?" Tom asked. "No," Gray replied. "They think being cornered makes you weak. They don't realize that humans fight hardest when cornered," Tom finished. He pressed a button, and sections of the tunnel ahead of Stone's group began to change. "Let's show them what that means." The hunting party reached a large maintenance chamber. Their helmet sensors showed their prey's heat signatures just ahead. Stone raised his hand, signaling the others to spread out. "Remember," Stone said, "the human is strong but slow. Our reflexes are superior." The chamber's main door slammed shut behind them. Before they could react, panels in the walls opened. Industrial fans roared to life, filling the room with hot steam from the station's cooling systems. The hunters' visual sensors went dark, blocked by the thick clouds. "Can't see," one hunter panicked, switching to motion tracking. "Stop." Gray knew what would happen next, but it was too late. The steam was moving. Hundreds of maintenance robots had activated, their small forms creating a chaos of motion signals that blinded the hunters' sensors. In the confusion, no one noticed the human shapes moving through the steam until it was too late. Tom's maintenance crew struck fast. They knew every corner of this chamber, had trained for emergency repairs in zero visibility. The hunters, struggling with the gravity and blind in the steam, didn't stand a chance. "Enough games," Stone shouted. He pulled out a banned plasma weapon, illegal in human space. "Show yourselves, if you insist." Tom's voice came from everywhere at once, broadcast through the chamber speakers. The steam began to clear, revealing his team had disarmed and restrained 3 of the 4 hunters. Only Stone remained free, his weapon pointed at the clearing air. Stone saw Tom standing calmly in the center of the chamber, holding something in his hands. Gray recognized it as a simple wrench. "Drop your weapon," Tom said quietly. "Your enhancement suit is failing. You can barely stand in our gravity. It's over." "Never." Stone's suit whined with effort as he aimed. "You're just prey. You can't defeat a guild hunter." "See, that's your mistake." Tom took a step forward. "You think humans survived Earth by being prey. Truth is, we survived by learning from every predator that tried to hunt us, taking what worked, improving it, becoming better hunters than they ever were." Stone fired. The plasma bolt seared through the air where Tom had been standing. But Tom had already moved, his Earth-evolved muscles and reflexes carrying him faster than Stone's drugged and gravity-weakened body could track. The wrench struck Stone's weapon with precise force, sending it flying. Before Stone could react, Tom had him pinned, the hunter's enhanced strength useless against human muscle and leverage. "Like I said." Tom looked up at the security cameras. "It's over. Station security can take it from here." Gray watched as human security teams flooded into the chamber. They worked with practiced efficiency, treating the situation like a normal day's work. And maybe for them, it was just another challenge to overcome, like all the others their species had faced. "You know what happens next," Red warned from Gray's wrist. "The guild will never stop now. Their pride won't allow it." "Good," Tom said, overhearing as he walked back to them. Because humanity's been looking for a reason to renegotiate our relationship with the wider galaxy anyway. This seems like the perfect opportunity. 3 months after the incident at the space station, Gray stood before the Galactic Council. The Great Chamber held representatives from every spacefaring species, all gathered to address the scandal that had rocked their society. The Guild Master sat in chains, his once proud tentacles bound after the discovery of countless hidden records. Tom stood beside Gray, looking comfortable despite being the only human in the room. He wore a simple Earth diplomatic uniform, but even that looked imposing on his Deathworlder frame. Many representatives kept their distance, still unused to being near a human. The evidence is clear, the council leader announced. The Hunting Guild has broken countless laws. They hunted sentient beings. They erased records. They caused diplomatic incidents that could have led to war. The Guild Master spoke up. We were protecting our society. These Deathworlders are a threat. Look at how easily they defeated our best hunters. Imagine what their armies could do. You're right about one thing, Tom said, his voice carrying easily through the chamber. Humans are dangerous. We had to be, to survive Earth. But we're not a threat unless you make us one. Gray stepped forward. I've spent time with humans now. Lived among them. Yes, they're stronger than us. Yes, they think faster, heal quicker, and adapt better. But they don't want to hurt anyone. They want to trade, to learn, to share knowledge. The council chamber filled with murmurs as Gray activated a display. Images appeared of humans helping other species, engineers working together on space stations, human doctors treating alien patients, children of different species playing together in colony schools. The Guild taught us to fear anything different, Gray continued, to see strength as a threat. But humans show us a better way. They're strong enough to destroy, but they choose to build. They could conquer, but they prefer to cooperate. Tom nodded. Earth taught us that the most dangerous thing isn't strength, it's fear. Fear of those who are different. Fear that makes you attack first instead of trying to understand. The council leader raised a hand for silence. What would you suggest then? How do we move forward from this? Human space is expanding, Tom said. We're finding more Deathworld species out there. Others like us, who evolved in harsh conditions. Instead of hunting them, we could help you understand them. Work together. Learn from each other. Gray felt hope rise in his chest as he saw many council members nodding. I propose a new organization, not for hunting, but for cooperation. A place where species from different worlds can share their strengths, where being from a death world isn't seen as a threat, but as an opportunity to learn. And humans would help lead this, someone asked nervously. Tom smiled. We'd help, but not lead. We've learned that the best way to handle danger isn't to fight it or run from it. It's to understand it, work with it, make it work for everyone's benefit. The council chambers erupted in discussion. As the representatives debated, Red hovered near Gray's shoulder. The Guild's reputation is destroyed, but yours has grown. Many are calling you a visionary now, instead of a traitor. Gray watched Tom chatting easily with some younger representatives, the fear of humans already fading from their eyes. I just did what any good hunter should do. I observed. I learned. I understood. And what did you understand? Red asked. That the galaxy wasn't divided between predators and prey. That strength doesn't have to mean violence. The humans taught me that. Gray looked at his friend Tom, remembering their first meeting. They survived their death world not just through strength, but through intelligence, cooperation, and adaptation. Those are the traits we should be learning from. As the council moved to vote on the proposal, Gray felt a profound change coming to galactic society. The old fear was being replaced by something new, hope, curiosity, and the understanding that the most dangerous species in the galaxy could also be its greatest teachers. Tom caught his eye and grinned, ready to help build something new. Yes, Gray replied, finally understanding why he had refused that hunt so many months ago. I think the galaxy is ready to learn what Deathworlders can really teach us.